The contents are shocking. Jungkook is shocked after receiving a message from Taehyung. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Before we unravel this shocking chain of events, before we step into the shadows of private conversations, unanswered questions, and the emotional storm that followed, make sure you subscribe. Trust me, you don't want to miss the revelations coming in this video, because the deeper we go, the more mysterious, the more intense, and the more unexpected everything becomes. If someone told you that a single message, just a few words glowing on a phone screen, could shake the calmest heart in the world, would you believe it? Well, tonight, you just might. Because the message Jungkook received from Taehyung wasn't ordinary. It wasn't casual. And according to those who were present, the atmosphere around him changed the moment he read it, as if someone had opened a window in the middle of a storm. What was written in that message? And why did it leave Jungkook frozen, breathless, and visibly shaken? Now, let's step into the moment it all began. It happened on a quiet evening, a calm so fragile that even the slightest vibration could break it. Jungkook had been alone, headphones on, buried in work, in thoughts, in that private inner world only artists understand. The kind of world where time slows down and every sound becomes a fragment of memory. Some people say the room was dimly lit, others say he preferred darkness that day, the kind that lets the mind wander through its own labyrinth. But what everyone agrees on is that the silence was shattered by the familiar buzz of his phone. A notification. A simple vibration. Nothing unusual, until he saw the name on the screen. Taehyung. A name loaded with history, years of music, laughter, long nights of practice, moments of frustration, unexpected breakthroughs, silent understanding, and a bond that millions have watched evolve like a constellational pattern across the sky. But something felt different this time. Something in the air shifted. Jungkook paused. Some say he hesitated to unlock the phone, as if he sensed the weight of what lay behind that glowing screen. And isn't it strange how our bodies often react before our minds understand what's coming? His expression tightened, barely, but noticeable, like someone bracing for a wave he couldn't see yet but could feel rising somewhere in the distance. When he finally tapped the message, his reaction was instant and unmistakable. His posture changed. His eyes widened, not dramatically, but with the kind of subtle shock that comes from reading something you never expected, not in that moment, not in that way, not with those words. He wasn't angry. He wasn't sad. He wasn't confused. The best description witnesses could give was this. He looked startled. As if something inside him had been abruptly awakened. And that raises the question that's been echoing among fans ever since. What could Taehyung have possibly said that would leave Jungkook in such a stunned silence? To understand the magnitude of that moment, we need to go back into the shared history of two people whose connection has been analyzed, celebrated, debated, and mythologized more than almost any friendship in modern pop culture. A dynamic that has always seemed deeper than surface level. A bond built not just through the choreography of stages or the synchronization of performances, but through the hardships no one sees, the private conversations no one hears, and the quiet understanding that often forms in the unspoken spaces between words. Think about the incredible journey they've walked together. Two young trainees navigating the ruthless uncertainty of the entertainment world, facing exhaustion, pressure, fear, not knowing if the next step would be a breakthrough or another disappointment. And yet, in that chaos, they found pieces of themselves in each other. You can see it in old footage, the glances, the smiles, the laughter that arrives without explanation. You can also see the moments of distance, the natural ebb and flow of two people growing, changing, evolving under the weight of the world's expectations. All of that history makes one thing very clear: a message from Taehyung is never just a message. It carries echoes. It carries memories. It carries everything they've lived through, together and separately. So there Jungkook sat, staring at his phone, eyes unmoving. Some say he read the message twice. Others insist he read it 3 times. A few claim he whispered something to himself, words too soft to catch, like someone trying to steady their breathing after an unexpected blow. Was it a confession? A warning? An apology? A revelation? Or something even more personal? This is where everything gets interesting, because sources close to the situation say that the contents of that message were deeply emotional, so emotional, in fact, that Jungkook didn't respond immediately. And that silence, that pause, that stillness, is often more revealing than any words. Imagine receiving a message that pulls you into a moment you weren't prepared to face. Something that forces you to confront feelings long set aside, questions never asked, or truths you pretended were forgotten. Humans throughout history have reacted the same way when confronted with emotional weight. Ancient philosophers wrote about this kind of pause, the moment the soul recognizes something before the mind does. Scientists today call it emotional dissonance, when the heart stumbles into a truth the brain isn't ready to process. Jungkook was experiencing exactly that. You can picture the room around him, silent, unmoving, watching. Shadows stretching across the floor, his phone screen illuminating his face with a cold glow, the kind of cinematic light that reveals more than it hides. And there he was, suspended between past and future, trying to make sense of a message that changed something inside him in an instant. What did Taehyung say? Why now? And why did it shake Jungkook so deeply? The answer is coming, but it's not what you think. And the more you learn, the more you'll understand why this message didn't just surprise Jungkook, it may have altered the fragile balance of their entire relationship. Because what Taehyung wrote wasn't random. It wasn't impulsive. It was something he had held inside for a long time, perhaps too long, an emotional weight that grows heavier every year, like a secret waiting for its moment to break free. And when he finally chose to send it, the timing was no accident. The message arrived during a period when both of them were standing at a crossroads, carrying their own uncertainties about the future, the group, their individual paths, and the memories they had spent a decade building together. Imagine Taehyung typing the message. Alone somewhere, maybe in the green glow of late-night studio lights or in the quiet of a hotel room, the world outside muffled by thick curtains. His thumb hovering above the screen, the hesitation almost palpable. If you felt the emotional weight of this story, or if you have your own interpretation of what the message might have been, share your thoughts below. You might be surprised how many people see something of themselves in this moment. And remember, sometimes the most powerful messages are the ones the world never gets to read.